Hello, everyone, and welcome to Activate Your Abundance. I'm your host, Shefali Burns. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you so much for being with us because it's going to be a fun call. I love talking to Karen about human design, understanding human design. It's just there's just so much in there, and it's so cool. So I'm excited about that. For those of you who may not know Karen or what human design is, let me tell you a little bit about her, and then we'll get right into the call because, like I said, I just think it's fascinating and so cool, and there's so much information. It's going to be fun. And I always ask questions because, I don't know, there's just so much for me to know. So I'm a knowing kind of person, right? So Karen is a human design specialist and the author of the book, Understanding Human Design, The Science of Discovering Who You Really Are. She teaches people to use human design as a practical tool to make easy but radical life changes. Known for her humorous and easy teaching style, Karen is passionate about helping people discover their unique magnificence and life purpose using human design, a personality assessment system based on the Chinese I Ching, the Hindu Chakra system, the Judaic Kabbalah, Eastern and Western Astrology, and quantum physics. Karen is the author of several books, including Inside the Body of God, and her upcoming book, which we already talked about, Understanding Human Design. Maybe I have two different names in this bio, Karen, I'm not sure. But that's okay.
Understanding Human Design is the name of the book, and it's actually currently a #1 bestseller on Amazon.
Absolutely, yeah. It just came out recently, a couple of months ago, so that is so exciting for you.
It did, yes.
And Karen travels and teaches people all over the world how to unlock their true potential and remember the abundance of who they really are. And today we're going to be talking about how to discover your unique blueprint for creating perfect abundance in your life. So that's we're all looking for that. We're all trying to create more and more of that all the time. So Karen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's an honor to be back, and I'm really excited to be talking about human design, and of course human design in the context of abundance, because that always lights my fire. So we have a lot to talk about today.
Absolutely, and I already asked Karen if she's going to be taking questions, so yes, she's going to be taking questions. So you all know, *2 to raise your hand. And can they also submit questions on the Q&A, Karen? Can you answer questions from the Q&A, or do they have to be live on the call?
They can do the Q&A. I just need to go look at it. That works.
Perfect. Okay, so yes, Karen recently got married, so that's why her name is now Karen Parker instead of Karen Curry. So that was exciting. And I guess your honeymoon, was Paris, or was that just a trip?
It was actually our honeymoon in Paris, and we have 8 kids between the two of us, so it was like our first time to be alone in 8 years.
Oh wow! So congratulations! How exciting!
Oh, thank you.
All right, so let's get into the call. So Karen, do you want to quickly just talk about understanding human design and how all that works, because it is totally different than astrology, palmistry, all of that stuff. So do you want to talk about that quickly, and then we'll get into the meat of it?
That sounds awesome. So I'll give everybody a really good superficial overview, and then we can dive in and specifically talk about your energy design, your unique energy design, and how that influences what I like to call your money mojo. So, human design, as you said, Shefali, is a synthesis of Eastern and Western astrology, the Chinese I Ching, the Kabbalah, the chakra system, and quantum physics. It's very similar to human to astrology in that we use your birthday, your birth time, and your birthplace, plug it into a computer program, thank God, because we used to do these charts by hand, and it generates a chart. And if you've ever seen a human design chart, it looks very different than anything you've probably ever seen before. It's basically, it looks like a triangle, and it has the profile of a human sort of at the top of the triangle, and then it has 9 geometric shapes, and those 9 geometric shapes are connected by actually a bunch of lines. So it really kind of looks actually like a really interesting sort of geometric map. What's so unique about this system is that what it shows us is it's not a predictive tool like, you look at astrology and you can say, okay, 2015 you're going to have this happen and that happen. It's really a tool that it's very much like, I always like to compare it to if you've ever done any remodeling in your house, or you've ever looked at the wiring in your house, it's very much like a circuit board for your house. If you look at the drawings for the circuit board, or how the electricity runs through your house, the human design chart is very much like those drawings. It's basically the circuit board of how you're hardwired. So it shows you not only your life purpose, but it shows you your strengths. It shows you where you have energy that is consistently available to you. It shows you where you take energy and information in from the world around you. It shows you where potentially you are more sensitive or more likely to be imprinted by, say, the collective beliefs around you, which is very important when we're looking at money consciousness. It shows you, and this is the most important piece, it also gives you your unique decision-making strategy. And, we think, okay, yeah, so what, your decision-making strategy. But I always encourage people, stop to think about where you are in your life right now. You are where you are right now because of a series of decisions that you've made all along the way. Where we are today is the sum total of all the decisions or choices that we've made. What human design does is it teaches you, or it shows you, how you make decisions in alignment with your unique energetic hardwiring. So it's really, I think, this beautiful tool that shows you how to interface with the infinite abundance of the universe. It shows you how to interface with your real life 3D reality, and how to navigate your way through that real life 3D reality in a way that's in alignment with your energy and the truth of who you are. When I'm going to really shift our focus and try to be very specific, Shefali, about money and your money energy, because I think that's really where you're wanting to go with this beautiful program that you've put together. And I always, this is one of my, when we talk about money, I have like these super big pet peeves about money and the way we talk about money in our collective consciousness. And one of my pet peeves is this. I have to back up and share a little bit about myself to explain to you why I have this pet peeve and how this relates to human design. About 14 years ago, I was actually bankrupt. I had filed for bankruptcy. I was a single mom. I had full-time custody of 4 kids. I was responsible for feeding them and clothing them and paying for every bill exclusively. And at the end of my marriage, we kind of ended up with $80,000 in debt, and there was just no way that I could get out of it. I was always sort of a metaphysically minded person. I was very lucky in that I stumbled upon metaphysics very early in my life as a young adult. And I tried everything I knew to do to kind of get myself out of that situation. I read, I always joke, I still have calluses on my finger from a Shakti Gulain book that I read. I don't know if you've ever read that one where she talks about write your affirmations 100 times, 3 times a day, right?
Yeah.
I had like the longest freaking affirmations you could ever imagine. And I wrote them out diligently 3 times a day, 100 of them, over and over again. And while I saw a certain degree of success, nothing was really ever working for me. And so I decided I was going to have to go out and study from people who had made it work. So to the best of my ability, with my very limited funds and, with having these 4 kids under my wings, I went and took, first of all, I read every book I could read, and I went and took every workshop that I could take. And even though everybody was sort of teaching the same things, and I was really pretty diligent about applying them in my life, I still really didn't see the results that were promised to me. In fact, I left a lot of those personal growth and development workshops that were all about money and getting money and making money. I left a lot of those workshops feeling pretty crappy about myself. I really felt like I was failing, that I was broken, that I had such a humongous degree of limiting beliefs stored in my subconscious that I would never discover, because no matter how much I was using EFT or Reiki or whatever energy technique I was trying to use, nothing seemed to be shifting and breaking up very much. I mean, I'm not saying it didn't work, but I'm not saying I surely wasn't waking up in a mansion with a BMW by any stretch of the imagination. I was very happy if I made it from, the 1st of the month to the 30th of the month. When I discovered human design, I didn't discover it, but when it discovered me, and it kind of, I fell in love with it, and I decided that I really needed to learn everything I could about human design. One of the things that really made my soul soar was it really started to answer my biggest questions about getting your money mojo in place. Because what human design shows us is that while we are all hardwired to be abundant, and let's, if you walk away with anything else today, and that's the only thing that you walk away with, I want you to walk away with this deep assurance that you are absolutely designed to be abundant. Absolutely, no doubt. If you look at the human design chart, if you look at that triangle that you get when you put your birth information in, that triangle promises that when you are true to yourself and you are living your authentic self, you will be supported. There's no being broke in the chart. There's nowhere in the chart where you can go, okay, you're designed to be broke. That's not in there, okay? There's no suffering in the chart. You're not actually even designed to suffer. You might occasionally have struggles. Those struggles are there to help you grow, but you're not designed to be broke. You're designed to be supported. It's actually our natural state as humans to be fully supported in the expression of our soul, the authentic expression of our soul. So I knew, okay, we're designed to be abundant. Yay, yippee. But how do we do that? What the chart showed us, and this goes back to this whole idea of how you make decisions, is that while everybody is absolutely designed to be abundant, that's normal, that's natural, the way in which we create abundance in our lives is different depending on how we're hardwired. The way in which we engage with things like the law of attraction, or what I call the law of universal growth, meaning where you put your energy and attention is where you get growth and results. We all know this stuff from The Secret. We all have it sort of as our mantra now. We get it. Mm-hmm. But the way in which we interface with the universal laws of deliberate creation is different depending on how we're hardwired. So let's look at this in the context of an example. I went to one guy who, I'm not going to drop his name, but it was really like the lowest low moments in my personal growth and development seminar attending. And one of the things that one of the mantras that this guy had was he stood in front of this room full of like 500 people or even more in this hotel, probably more. And his mantra that he told everybody to do was go home and just freaking do it. Actually, it wasn't, I think he said just freaking do it, okay? Mm-hmm. Just freaking do it. And everybody was super fired up and excited and going, yeah, we're going to go home, we're going to change our mindset, we're going to be making millions of dollars within weeks, right?
Right.
You know? And I got home and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, yeah. And Thursday, the week after the workshop, I was already like, I can't do this. I completely deflated and couldn't force it to happen for myself. Well, what I know now in hindsight is that with human design, what human design shows us is that actually only 4% of the population, I mean 4% of us, can actually go out and freaking do it. Mm-hmm. Only 4% of us can go out and manifest our destiny, make it happen. The rest of us have a very different way of engaging with our 3D reality. How many of us, and how many, I'll address this to you too, Shefali, how many of us have gone out into the world, girded our loins, our financial loins, right? Yep. Set our intention and said, that's it, I'm just going to go out there and I'm just going to do it. And you do everything right. Mm-hmm. You do the vision board, you do the affirmations, you do everything you're supposed to do, just like it says in the book. Mm-hmm. And you don't get the results you were hoping for. How many times have the light workers we have listening on the call, how many times have you set your intent to fill your workshop and you visualize 30 people in there at $75 a head, and it was going to make your business fly and launch, and you knew this was your launching point to the next level in your business, and 3 people show up. Mm-hmm. It's happened before to probably most of us, because most of us are not designed energetically to go out and force things to happen. In fact, most of us by design are designed to wait and to follow the signs and to let the universe reveal to us what the next step is. It doesn't mean when we visualize and we affirm and we do all those things that we won't get what we want, but it does mean that you're not going to get it if you don't do it right according to your energy blueprint. Make sense so far?
It does. And I'm hearing you and I'm listening to you, and part of me is screaming, but I've done everything right and I hate waiting. I'm not a patient person, so it's like I don't have a patient bone in my body.
Most of us are not.
So it's like,
I have a 5-year-old right now, and I'm laughing because I'm watching how unnatural it feels to her to wait. You know? And I'm thinking, how do we train people to be patient with waiting? But you're right, and that's absolutely, that's one of those places where, you know, in human design, I'm going to give you a little bit more foundation in just the basics. In human design, there are 5 energy types. Each one of those energy types has a specific way of making choices and making decisions and interacting with the laws of abundance, the laws of creation, okay?
Yeah.
The manifestor, which is the first type, is approximately 8% of the population. The manifestor is the only type who really can go out and just do it. And really, it's kind of interesting, actually, when I look at a lot of personal growth and development teachers, the guys that are up in front of the room, they have a lot of these manifestor energy type configurations. So they get up there, and they are able to just do it. And so they're not really out of integrity. And I really want to make sure I'm saying that these people are not consciously misleading us. They have the best of intent, I'm certain, to really inspire people to go out and create and do differently. But a lot of these guys are up there because they have an energy type that allows them to just freaking do it. So 8% of us can do this. Now, the manifestor is a type that has, we call a pure creative flow. The manifestor's role in life is actually to initiate action and to initiate the creative process. And a lot of us get initiated, you know, coincidentally, or at least in the divine plan, by the manifestor energy. Manifestors have this internal, non-verbal creative flow. So when a manifestor goes into the process of creation, they have almost this inarticulate, this non-verbal, non-word-based creative thing that they do. And they just go do what they're supposed to do. Now, there's 2 things that happen with the manifestor. Number 1, because their creative flow is oftentimes nonverbal, it's very difficult for them to explain to other people what they're doing. So those of us who are witnessing the creative flow of the manifestor, we see this person sort of zooming in this creative process, and we're confused because we don't know what they're doing. And when we stop and ask them things like, do you need help, or can I help you? They get mad at us, or they snap at us in response. And we're like, well, I was just trying to help you. But part of the reason why a lot of times manifestors snap at us or react is because when they have to stop that creative flow and find the vocabulary, the words, to explain to someone, hey, here's what I'm doing. I'm doing da-da-da-da-da, and could you please do that? You know, to find the words slows them down so much that it interrupts their creative flow, and it's aggravating. So if you're a manifestor, you might relate to that, that you've got this creative flow, you get into it, and people are always mad at you for you not telling them what you're up to or what you're doing. Now, as much as, and this isn't purely in terms of money especially, as much as we think, oh, I want to be a manifestor, that sounds awesome. Get an idea, just go do it, right? We think, oh, that would be fabulous. The thing with the manifestor is it's very much like throwing spaghetti as a lifestyle. You know how when you throw spaghetti and you wait to see if it sticks, to see if it's if it's done correctly? You know?
The manifestor
creative process, the manifestor creative process is very much like throwing spaghetti. You know, if you're a manifestor, you're going to throw a lot of spaghetti, which means you're going to do a lot of things that don't work. And your only way you know if they do work or not is by trying them. So even though we think, oh, that would be really awesome, to a certain degree, the manifestor kind of has to depend on their own inner self to kind of decide whether whether they're going to do it or not. And when they do it, it's still no real guarantee that it's going to absolutely work out. They have to kind of just try it and see if it sticks. So to a certain degree, sometimes when you're a manifestor, even though we think, oh, that's the coolest way to be, it actually can be really challenging because you don't always know. You don't really often get confirmation from the outer world that, okay, this is the direction that you need to go. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay.
Following you so far.
The second energy type is called the generator. Generators are here to work. They are here to work in the traditional way that we think of as working. In fact, one of the roles of the generator is to find their right work. The generator is here to find the right work and to do it. And when they find their right work, they unleash this enormous amount of life force energy. They feel vitalized, excited. In fact, when you find a generator that's doing the work that they love, they often don't want to stop working because they love their work so much. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a type of generator, which I'll talk about in a minute. I took 3 weeks off. 1 week was not intentional. I got stuck in Chicago, but I was telling my husband, you know what? A week and a half of vacation that's fine. That's enough. I can't do more than that. I need to get back to my work because I love my work. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But as a generator, generators always think they're manifestors. They want to go out and just do stuff, and they're terrified of waiting because they think, well, if I wait, nothing's going to happen, right?
Right.
or if I wait, everybody's going to steal my opportunities, and I'm going to miss this opening, right?
Right.
The thing for the generator is that the generator is here to respond to the right opportunities. Meaning this, for a generator, if you want to make a decision, you set an intention, you get clear, you do your envisioning process, all that stuff that we know to do to manifest. But you don't go out and make it happen. You prepare for it to happen. You set up all the foundations. You do everything you need to do. But you have to wait for the universe to give you a sign that it is indeed the right time and the right opportunity for you to reply to or to respond to. So let me give you an example. When I first learned human design, and I get real excited about things. And of course, the first thing I decided to do when I learned human design was, okay, I'm going to go teach a workshop about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew how to teach workshops. I'd been doing workshops for a while. So I rented a room. I printed out flyers and put them all over Sedona, Arizona, where I was living at the time. I put a little press release in the newspaper. I did everything that you're supposed to do to have a great workshop, right? Nobody came.
Oh.
Not a single room, okay? And I was frustrated, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, okay, you know what? I certainly didn't wait to respond to anything. I acted like a manifestor. I tried to manifest my workshop the way that, in a way that wasn't right for my energy type. And, obviously nothing happened. So a couple of weeks later, a friend of mine who I had just done a chart reading for said, this stuff is really cool. You should teach a workshop about it. And I went, now I'm getting a sign from my outer reality. Something outside of my head showed up and said, you should do this. If you're a generator, and there's a second type called a manifesting generator, so this applies to you as well. If you're a generator or a manifesting generator, something outside of your outer reality, something in your outer reality, something that's not in your head, okay, is going to show up and show you what direction you're going to go. And when it's the right thing for you to follow, it feels exciting, it feels juicy, you get this vibration that starts kind of in the pit of your gut that goes, that's what I'm going to go do. There's this sort of intuitive gut level knowingness that that's the direction that you need to go in. So when my friend said, you should teach a workshop about this, I thought, okay, I'm going to do a little experiment. I'm going to go back. I'm going to rent the exact same room. I'm going to write and release the same press release, of course, change the date. I'm going to use the same flyer, but change the dates. I'm going to do everything exactly the way I did it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Except now I'm responding to something, right?
Right.
So I teach the workshop, 32 people in the workshop.
Wow.
And the only difference was I entered into it correctly according to my energy blueprint. And
I'm getting goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps.
It takes a leap of faith. It takes a leap of faith to trust this. And I always tell people, don't take my word for it. Go experiment with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really magic. And when I started really looking at my energy type and really actively engaging with the universe correctly according to my blueprint, I promise you that my income, it took time. I'm not going to say, okay, click my heels together, poof, started responding, and da-da-da, here I am in my BMW. Okay,
right.
That would be completely not true. Okay.
Yeah.
I had teenagers to feed. I don't know how anybody does that, but it did very gradually and very markedly improve. And this is how I run my business. I do not have a business plan. I completely freak out some of my partners sometimes. I don't have a business plan. I let the universe show me what the plan is, and I wait and I see what shows up. So that's how it works. There is a third human design type called a manifesting generator. A manifesting generator is sort of a combination of a manifestor and a generator. They are first and foremost, just like the generator, here to work, here to find, or here to have the right work find them. They are first and foremost of all the types designed to wait for the universe to bring them the next step. They are designed to respond just like a generator. So they have to wait for something to show up and then respond to it. The difference between a generator and a manifesting generator and a manifestor is obviously they're not manifestors, so they can't just go do things. They have to wait. But they do have a little bit of that inward nonverbal creative flow. So a manifesting generator can go super fast. And when they get something to respond to, they generally speaking can jump into it at a little bit faster pace. And oftentimes they have to remember to let the people in their lives know what they're doing, even though it's irritating. They have to stop and find the words so that people won't get too mad at them.
Wow, so. It's like you're talking to me directly. I'm one of those manifesting generators, you know, and yeah, I'm not patient, and yes, you're right. I think I do have to respond to what I get from the outside instead of my own head, and then, but I'm not good about telling people about what I'm doing.
You know, I'm not either. I'm also a manifesting generator, and I have to tell you, as difficult as it is, and I am still learning this 14 years later, and I think I'm a very slow learner in that respect. I'm still discovering how much more people are more allowing and supportive when they know what I'm doing. That whole informing thing, though, is it's like, it is so not natural. You know?
Yeah, me too. It's so not natural to me at all.
But it does end up saving time in the end, usually, because then I'm not dealing with confused and dazed people in my path. So
I'll keep that in mind.
The fourth type, exactly. The fourth type is called the projector. The projector is the energy type that is, first of all, they have a life purpose that's all about managing and guiding, directing others. I have to laugh. I have a 5-year-old, and she is a projector, and she's the only projector child I've had. All my other kids are generators, and manifesting generators. This weekend, they came I have a giant silver maple tree in the front yard, and they came to chop the tree, or trim the tree. So these guys came in these giant trucks with these huge, like, cherry picker cranes, and they're out there hauling these humongous limbs down off of this tree, and they're falling, you know, plunk in the front yard. And I'm watching, and my daughter's watching out the front window, and all of a sudden she stands up and she goes out. She gets up and she goes out in the front yard, which I would have stopped her, but it just did not occur to me that she would go out in the front yard when these giant limbs are falling all over. And she starts to yell at these guys, "Don't cut that limb. There's a squirrel nest on that limb, and you need to leave that one intact." And I'm like, here's this tiny little kid out there, you know, telling these big giant guys what to do, okay? She is a projector. That's the natural projector thing. I like to call the projectors the sheepdogs of humanity. They're here to herd humankind into the right place. You know, nice. If you've ever had a sheepdog, that herding instinct is so natural, right?
Yep.
So projectors I find a lot of light workers are projectors. Because what better place to be than in the light worker world if you're here to manage and guide and direct other people. They are wise about energy, especially human energy, so a lot of them are energy healers, very sensitive to energy. As I said, they're very wise. They have a natural intuitive ability to know what people need to do to live a better life. It's instinct to them. It's part of who they are. The challenge for the projector is really difficult, and projectors of all the types oftentimes tend to have the most money adventures, if we call them that, because the projector strategy, or the decision-making strategy for the projector, is they have to wait. And they have to wait to be asked or invited or recognized by other people. Which, you know, you think you have a hard time waiting as a manifesting generator, try being a projector. You have to be invited or asked or recognized, not into the little things in life. If you're a projector, you don't have to be invited to go to dinner. You don't have to be invited to go do your laundry. But you do have to wait to be asked or recognized or invited into the big things in life, like moving or love or getting a job. Now, if you can imagine how difficult this is when you have to wait for other people to activate your wisdom, how challenging that can be, and frankly, how slow sometimes that process can be. And what we see is, of course, most of us are trained from our very beginning of our lives to act like manifestors. We're told, go out and make it happen, right?
Right.
Now, as a generator or a manifesting generator, you can kind of fudge it a little bit. You won't have wild success necessarily, but you can at least get away with it a little bit. If you're a projector and you're out in the world pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to make things happen, two things happen to the projector. Number one, they physically burn out. And it's really common for me in my practice. In fact, most of my clients are projectors. I see projectors who have been pushing and pushing and pushing with all of their energy to try to make things happen, and eventually, especially somewhere between 38 and 45, they fry. They literally, their bodies just go, I can't do it anymore. And they either, hit a literal physical wall, or certainly they hit, sort of a spiritual wall where they can't go anymore. The second thing that happens is, unfortunately, and this is difficult too, they can tend to push people away. And it's not anything that they've done personally. It's that energetically, because they're pushing instead of waiting, people aren't able to see their true brilliance. And they're so eager to be heard, and so eager to be recognized, and so eager to guide and correct people. If they're not asking, waiting for the asking first, people don't value. Now, that being said, I just have to add this a little bit. I always tell projectors, you are like a precious gem on a purple pillow. And when you do not wait for the right people who recognize the wisdom of what you have to offer and who are ready to hear what you have to say, you're not waiting for those people to ask you. You're like casting pearls before swine. That sounds terrible, but you are too valuable as a projector to waste your energy that way. But that means you have to sit at home and wait, or sit wherever and wait for the right opportunity. Now, as a projector, most projectors are utterly terrified of waiting, because if you can't, what are you going to do if you have to literally just sit and wait? Who really believes that something's going to happen for you if you just sit and wait? So I always have to tell my favorite story. This is absolutely my favorite projector story. This is actually a story from my ex-husband from my first marriage, who is really one of my dearest friends. We're really good friends now that we're not married. It works better that way. When we first got divorced, he went home to live with his parents. He's a projector. He went home to live with his parents for a while, and he decided he had always wanted to be an actor, so he decided that he was going to take acting classes and really get serious about becoming an actor. So he went to live at home, took acting classes, and then made a decision that as a projector, he was going to stay at home and sit on his couch and get a job. And of course, everybody was completely freaked out. Can you imagine? You're going to sit at home and get a job? How does that work, right? But he said, I'm not going to go to auditions. That's not being a projector. Projectors don't go to auditions. Projectors wait to be recognized and invited. And if I'm going to be recognized and invited, I need to be in one place so somebody can find me. Of course, everybody thought he had lost his marbles, right? So about 3 months into his I'm going to stay at home and sit on the couch experiment, he gets a knock on the door. And this cute girl is knocking on the door of his mom's house. So he goes to open the door because it's a cute girl, right? And he starts chatting with her. And she says, wow, you're really funny. And he says, oh, thank you. She goes, no, you're really funny. You should audition at the comedy club downtown. They're holding auditions. I work there in the evenings, and I think you'd be great. Okay? He gets an invitation, right?
Yep.
So he goes, okay, I'll go do that. Now, being an improv comedian at a comedy club is a pretty coveted position. That's not just something you just get, right? So, but he's like, okay, cool, I can do that. So he goes down, he goes to the audition, gets the freaking job. Okay? How could this happen? He's a projector. Right. His trajectory, his life energy was such that he was designed to wait. But it took an enormous amount of trust for him to be able to let go to that degree to say, I'm going to wait and something's going to happen. So if you are a projector, you really need to be waiting. Now, how difficult is that to do if you're an entrepreneur? If you're a Reiki master or an intuitive or a body worker or a healer or whatever you may be doing, and you're trying to generate business, it's very challenging, and there are ways you can do it, and you can structure your business in such a way that it's easier to be seen and recognized, but you have to know your energy type and make sure that your business is aligned with getting recognized so that you can really activate that money flow correctly according to your energy type so that you don't burn out and that you also get valued for what you bring to the world. The last type in the energy system, in the human design system, is called the reflector. Reflectors are less than 1% of the population. The reflector is actually designed to reflect the health and wellness, or the energetic condition of the environment that they're in. So they really are sort of karmic mirrors for the rest of us to sort of see through them where we are at and what's going on with us. So my favorite example of the reflector is Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was a reflector. And I think it's so fascinating when you look at his lifestyle and his life, and you really recognize that he was expressing a reflection of what was going on in the what is going on in the entertainment community. First of all, I think it's a pretty sobering reflection that he offered back to us, because definitely was, I think, a very interesting reflection. Mm-hmm. Secondly, I think that so many things that he did. So many ways, for example, that he tried to change his appearance, which I think was, again, a reflection of the community that he was in, was, again, just something to look at. I'm not going to make a political comment on it or a societal comment on it, but it certainly was noteworthy. The other thing about a reflector, just like a projector, by the way, I don't think I said this about the projector, but projectors are not designed to work in the traditional way that we think of as working. A Monday through Friday 9-to-5 job for years on end for a projector is really difficult energetically. And the same is true for a reflector. And generally speaking, if you don't get time to rest, and if you're pushing too hard physically, you can really burn yourself out as a reflector as well. And I think when we look at his life, so much of his end years, I think he was really struggling with energy, and having the energy to be able to really put on the show and to kind of live his life at the energy that he was expressing more in his 20s and 30s. So very interesting. Now, a reflector has a decision-making strategy that's also a little bit challenging. The reflector has to wait the full 28-day cycle of a moon and feel their way through a decision before they know if it's correct or not. They can just do it, but before they just do it, they have to wait and make sure that whatever it is that they're just doing is, in fact, what they need to be doing or what is correct for them. That's it. I finished them all.
Wow. And I mean, I know I'm a manifesting generator because, I heard about it from you. And then, just when you talk about it, it just so completely makes sense. I totally resonated with it, and it's like, yeah. But I don't think I'm, following what I should be following, or like the strategy. And yes, I get frustrated because that's the theme, is frustration, because I don't wait, I don't wait to respond, and it's like, oh, so how does that now, all these different themes, right, or all these different types, how, when it comes to abundance and making money, is there a different way? Is it the same thing? Like, for example, the manifesting generator, we still have to respond to opportunities that come up, and then, like, wait for them instead of trying to create it, and just do it, So even when it comes to money, like, it's the same idea, right?
It is absolutely the same idea. For you to make money as a manifesting generator, you need to wait for the opportunities to show up and follow the opportunities that feel awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. Totally makes sense. All right, so we have some questions on the. Oh, we have questions on the call and on the Q&A. So, all right, so we're going to go to. Oh God, I don't know what this is. Maine, Massachusetts. We'll find out in a second. Area code 508. Area code 508. Hi, you there?
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much. Hi. I had a question. This is great, and it's so it makes so much sense after you explained everything. And I have actually had my chart. You've done my chart for me, and I am, I guess, a manifestor. And I am wondering. And I guess I didn't do what I was supposed to be doing. And I was kind of waiting for something to happen, because it seems as though I've tried to do a couple of different things to change careers and look into something different, and it hasn't happened. So I didn't know if I was kind of forcing things and if I should wait and let things happen or what. But I didn't know if you had any thoughts on that.
Well, for a manifestor, to me, it's always fascinating that that manifestors are always the ones waiting, and everybody else is out acting like a manifestor, which I think is sort of beautifully ironic. I would say, for manifestors, one of the things that I see happen pretty consistently with my manifestor clients is that they are waiting, and as part of that waiting, they're sort of not fully activating or owning their own power. As a manifestor, you're a very powerful human being. You have the capacity to go out and do what you want to do. But there's a challenge with the manifestor. As I said, sometimes the challenge is knowing what to do. It's like, okay, great, I can just go do it, but what do I do? And what I always tell the manifestors is go do something and see what happens. And definitely do not sit home and wait. It's actually not healthy for a manifestor over time to hang out and wait and not do. It's like, if you can imagine that your energy is like a lightning bolt. If you're not doing, it's like you're trying to contain a lightning bolt in a glass jar. And eventually that energy will ricochet around inside your body and wear you out, even though it sounds counterintuitive that you get worn out from waiting. But
no, I do understand. I do understand. Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. And I mean, I have manifested, like I was able to actually move and manifest like extremely quickly, and have that happen in ways that I just, people said that you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm kind of like, what to do next, because I do understand what you're saying, and I was actually trying to manifest opportunities so it's really not working and doing more things that are more fun and having money come in a different way, but maybe it is something, if I keep doing that and trying to manifest that way, it might work out. I don't know. Yeah. It says I'm a hermit opportunist.
So what's really cool about being a hermit opportunist is that if you chart, those of you who have your chart, there's a thing on the chart called your profile. And your profile tells you a little bit about your experiential patterns in life and your learning patterns. So for you, definitely as a hermit, you need alone time, and for you as a manifestor especially, that's probably part of what you have to do to kind of restore your own energy, because you can get burned out too from being out in the world. As a fourth line profile, the opportunist, that means that a lot of your opportunities come to you from your network or your friends. So definitely get out there, be with your people, and then recognize that with the hermit part. There's an irony with the hermits. And those of you who are hermits, you probably get this. When you're a hermit, as soon as you disappear and hide and engage in your hermit part of your personality, people always come find you. They want to know, where'd you go? What's happening? And they'll call you out of being a hermit into opportunities. So it's kind of nice. You never can really truly disappear, although you probably want to at times. So you don't really completely disappear, and opportunities will come to you, usually from your relationships and your connections.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Wow, very good. All right, that sounds good. I will try and put all of this to use. You
just go freaking do it, okay?
Yes, I try. My husband keeps saying that, and I'm like, no, you don't. It's not the right. But he's right then. Wow, I'm not going to tell him that. But yes.
Go ahead and tell him. He'll like it.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Thank you so much. This was really extremely helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so just as a reminder to everybody, it's *2 to raise your hand, because sometimes I forget to mention that, or sometimes people don't hear it. What was I was laughing about something. What was it? Yeah, because sometimes when I have to say "you're right" to my partner, I don't like it, but it's good for them to hear. You're right.
Oh, it's fun.
I know. Okay, we're going to go to Illinois, area code 630. Hello.
Hi, this is Pat.
Hi, Pat.
Hi, how are you? Thank you. You're just answering so many questions every time you say something. I've always wondered, I am kind of shy, yet when I'm talking about what I love, there's no stopping me. And I was making money teaching, feng shui, something that I'm passionate about. But I'm not really good at going out and getting the people, getting the business. And I always wanted something that I could do at home and then sell it. So I've been becoming an artist, and I'm kind of stuck on where to go with that. I don't know if that's a question or not.
It is a question. What would be really helpful is if we knew your human design type. Have you ever had a human design chart done?
Pardon me?
Have you ever had a human design chart done?
No, I haven't.
Shefali, is it okay if I tell them where to get a chart?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you guys want to get a copy of your free human design chart, go to understandinghumandesign.com. Okay? So understandinghumandesign.com. There's a little tiny movie there. You can watch that. Send us an email. Give us your birth data. I have a human design chart elf, and she runs this. She's not really an elf. She's actually my daughter, but she's tiny. So I call her my chart elf. But we actually have somebody hand running your charts, and we'll email you a chart so you can get a copy of your chart and see. If you knew your type, your human design type, like I just talked about, it would help you understand much more clearly, and I could actually answer your question. If you're a generator type, I would say for you, for any type, especially generators and projectors and reflectors, if you're going to do that kind of work, you need to have a place where people can find you so that they can give you something to respond to or invite you into. So absolutely whatever you're doing, you need to have a really good website.
Okay.
That would be my first thing. And make it a website that is that presents your work. Not so much, you don't have to talk so much about yourself per se, except on your bio page, but show people your work so they can also respond to you or invite you into something. That would be, I would say, the first step.
Okay, and I don't have that. I'm just creating the art and wondering where is this going to go.
Yeah, so start first with helping people giving people a way to find you.
Yeah. And I could do that. I would like that. That would be more than me having to go out and get business, ask for business. Like you said, putting up a flyer and having a class. I've had that happen where I had to cancel it, and then I just let it go and said, all right, whoever comes, and then I had a full class. So I get that.
And I think the other piece is, this is really important to understand. Most of us, I can't do the math right now. I'm not so good at 96%. There we go. 96% of us. I'm sorry, I did the math wrong. 92% of us are designed to wait in some way. So most of us cannot just go do a workshop. Most of us need to enter into our relationship with that workshop correctly according to our energy, which means we need to have some kind of a sign or some kind of invitation to go do it. And for you to feel like, I really just don't want to go set stuff up, that's probably because energetically that's not correct for you. We all think, I have money consciousness issues and that's why I can't market. And I think, no, that's not true. The reason why most of us can't market is because we're trained to market like manifestors. We're trained to do this, big buy now, blah, 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 big marketing push stuff, and it doesn't work for 92% of us.
My best classes have been when I've been asked to teach it.
That bingo. That's,
Yeah.
I would definitely say you're probably not a manifestor. So I would, go get your chart and then look at it. And the chart comes with a little free report, so it's not like you're flying blind with, okay, now I have this thing. What do I do with it? It'll give you a little bit of information with it so you can really go deep into it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate this.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Shefali.
Thank you, Pat.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. So now we have a question from Charmaine, and Okay. So Charmaine is asking a question about bringing in more abundance in her life. So that's something that is applicable to everybody. So Charmaine, just so you know, Karen does not do intuitive readings like that on the call because she's just she's giving me her maiden name, birth name, and that kind of stuff. But and stuff like that. But that's not what you do. So it's just so you know. But we can talk just briefly about abundance for everybody, and it's basically I think for most of us it's about following the signs and then responding, and for some of us it's if you have an idea then just go and do it. And then for the projectors and the reflectors, I forgot what that was.
A reflector is here to reflect the health of their community.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's a question from Gaytree, and she's asking, what careers are suited for reflectors?
Aha. Well, that's a great question, and it's a loaded question because what actually anybody can do anything. Any type can do any job. The kicker is this: you have to enter into the job that you're doing correctly in alignment with your human design strategy. So if you're a manifestor, you go out and get the job. I have a friend of mine who is a manifestor who he doesn't do this anymore, but he used to be an editor at a big newspaper in Louisville, Kentucky. And he moved to Arizona, and he decided he wanted to work at a newspaper in Arizona. So as a manifestor, he went to the building where the newspaper was housed. He walked around the building 3 times to kind of create an energetic, I mean, you don't have to do this. This was just his idiosyncrasy. But he walked around the building 3 times to put his energy into the building, went inside, got the name of the chief editor of the paper, took the elevator up to the chief editor's office, walked into his office and said, "You need to hire me," and he got a job. Most of us cannot do that. We have to enter into our relationship with our work correctly according to our type. So as a reflector, you can do anything, provided when you get the opportunity to do whatever that is, you've waited your full 28-day cycle before you accept the position. Any type can do any work, provided they enter into it correctly. So there's no magic formula like projectors should do this and generators should be fire people, and everybody can do anything as long as they enter into it correctly. Of course, if you look more deeply into your personal chart, your personal chart, and I can't generalize about this because everybody's different, but your personal chart is certainly going to reveal your strengths, where you have what your life purpose is, and some possibilities that might feel more in alignment with who you are work-wise.
That makes sense. Yep, perfect. So, Gaytree, hopefully that helps and makes sense for you. Then I have a question from Lynn, and she says she's a manifestor and just got laid off from her job, and she's wondering about a career shift that seems scary to pursue. She says she has her human design chart, and she's asking, will that tell her or give her guidance on change? And what change?
I missed the first part of the what she wrote. Can you read that again, Shefali, for me, please?
Yeah, Lynn says she's a manifestor, and she just got laid off from a job and is wondering about a career shift that seems scary to pursue.
A career shift. Well, I would say, for a manifestor, again, part of the theme is feel the fear and do it anyway, because you can. It's certainly to hold back and to not do what you need to do to make that shift is good. It is not good. You really need to go do it and try it, because you do have the energy to make it happen as a manifestor. You don't need to wait for anything. And again, as I said to the manifestor that we talked to earlier, if you're waiting, it's actually not good for you. It's actually going to work against you to wait. So, which is unfortunately common for most manifestors. I find them holding back. So I would certainly say if you're on the cusp of a career shift, go for it. In terms of, I don't know if you want to give me a little bit more details with your question. I don't know if you're wondering what might be a good career for a manifestor. And again, the answer to that question would be the same answer as I had for the last question, which is, you can do anything, provided it feels right for you as a manifestor. So it has to be something that lights your fire, basically. And as long as it lights your fire, go do it.
Right.
And see what happens. And that's really, unfortunately, all I can tell a manifestor. Again, I think of all the types, in some ways, the manifestor type, even though we think, oh, it's so cool to just be able to go do stuff, has a little bit of a challenge because there isn't this dance that the rest of us do with our outer reality. The manifestor just has to kind of know and try it.
Yeah. So Lynn, just go ahead and try it. if it feels exciting and expansive, just try it and see what happens, right?
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. I have a question from North Carolina. Area code 919. Hello, hi.
Hi, that's me.
Hi.
I just went to the website, Karen, that you mentioned, and it looks I would need to have my birth time, and I have no idea what, I know where I was born and my parents' names and all of that, but I do not know what time I was born.
Okay, that happens a lot. If you don't know your birth time, but you know a general time, put in
no, I don't even
morning
know a
or
general
evening.
time.
If you really don't know, then we have to do kind of what we do in traditional astrology, which is we have to rectify the chart. So it's interesting with human design because literally on some days it won't matter what time you were born because the energies don't shift that much in the chart. But on some days it's really, really important. So what we have to do is you'd actually have to make an appointment with someone to kind of ask you a series of specific questions, in relation to your chart that we would run. We run it every hour to see how does it change every hour and see if it's significant. And if there's significant changes, there's a series of questions that we would ask to help determine what time you were born. Now, if you wanted to be less scientific with it, I have had people who do muscle testing, and they'll muscle test themselves about their birth time. Or I've had people who also will use a pendulum to figure out their birth time.
Okay.
So that might be another option for you.
I haven't had much luck doing muscle testing on myself, but when somebody else does it for me, it works. Can you tell me this? I'm in the process of sending for a copy of my birth certificate. Do you know is it on there? Does it say what time you're born?
It depends. I find that if you're born like after 1955,
I'm born in 1955.
It's probably on there. If you're born before that, it's iffy.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully, hopefully it will, like I said, I've sent for it now, but I don't know. They said it could take for a couple of months, so.
Oh, really?
Okay, well, I just thought maybe somebody else would have had that question also, so thank you so much.
It happens. It definitely happens, so.
Okay, thank you so much, Karen.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. That was a great question. Okay, so Karen, let's talk about the special offer because
cool.
I know it's like I just looked at the clock and it's like, oh wow, we're already.
I know. I just did the same thing. I was like, whoops, we did it again. We started talking. All right.
I know. There's just so much to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. So I did put together a really cool package, I think, for you guys that I'm really excited about. And I just want to tell you, if you listen closely, and then at the end, I'm going to give you a special bonus that I'm going to add just for this abundance program that you have, Shefali, for all your listeners in here. So I put together a package that's really a nice, beautiful introductory package that's going to help you master a basic understanding of your human design chart. So obviously, of course, you want to get your human design chart so that you can really look at your chart and have it in hand. And then I want you to go get this package, because this package is going to give you all the information that you need to really start activating your blueprint for abundance. And abundance, when I say abundance, I'm not talking just about money. I'm talking about getting yourself in right relationships, getting yourself physically healthy, finding the work that makes your soul soar, lining yourself up with your life purpose, finding a lifestyle that makes you feel balanced and restored. And it even understanding your human design even helps you connect more deeply with spirit and deepen your spiritual awareness and your connection with source. So this program is designed to give you all of that information so you can get started in really living a life that's true to who you really are. So I put in here, the first program I put in here is the Level 1 Human Design Core Course, which is just the basic introductory human design course. It's 6 hours of recorded teleclasses, MP3 downloads, and slideshows that walk you through the basics of all the 5 types and what human design is. So it really helps you look at what's your type, what is your strategy, what does that mean for you. Each class is about 90 minutes. Some of them are a little bit longer. It really goes deep into helping you understand what is really the core of human design, and that is understanding your energy type and your decision-making strategy. Not only are you going to learn about yourself, you're actually also going to learn about the people in your life who you love as well, because nobody ever just runs their own chart. Everybody starts running their relatives and their friends and their parents and their kids. So, you know, this is going to give you not only insight into yourself, but also give you really valuable tools to help you deal with the people in your life who you love from a most respectful and honoring place, and to start seeing them for who they really are as well. Of course, I'm not a big fan of home study programs, even though that's a home study program, because I'm a fourth line profile, so I have to have people around me, or at least connect with people. So I created what I call the Human Design Forum, which is a live weekly support group. So on Mondays, you have the opportunity, if you're studying any of this material at home, you have the opportunity to call in to a live call on Mondays, and sometimes it's me running the calls, sometimes it's my assistant Kristen running the calls, and sometimes it's some of my advanced students running the calls. But there is always on Mondays a live human being who for an hour will answer any questions that you have about your chart, about a chart you're curious about, or any questions that you have about human design. So even though these programs are technically home study, there's always outreach for you and support. So that's part of this package. It's a $27 a month value. You get it as part of the package for free as a bonus. The second thing that I threw in here is the Human Design Specialty Series. I have a whole monthly series that I do called the Human Design Specialty Series, and I did a really wonderful class, 2-hour class about generators and manifesting generators. So generators and manifesting generators are about 70% of the population. So most of us are generators and manifesting generators. So this is a really nice program that goes even more deeply into what does it mean to be a generator or manifesting generator, how do you work with that energy, how do you fully activate that workforce, life force energy that is you, and really, you know, helps you line up with showing up in your life as a generator or manifesting generator in a way that's true to who you really are. The next program that I include in here is, this is a $75 value program. Again, this is a free bonus. It's called the Projector Survival Guide. This is actually taught by my former spouse, Kyle Curry, who is a projector, as I said. This is an 8-week recorded teleclass with over 15 hours of MP3 audios and PDF notes. He did an awesome job putting this together. It is a really step-by-step program to help you understand who you are as a projector. How do you find the patience to wait? How do you get a job as an actor while sitting on a couch, right? And it teaches you everything you need to know about being a projector and fully activating the wisdom that is yours without burning yourself, without hitting that wall, and helping you find that place where you are seen and valued for what you have to bring forth in the world. Really, really incredible program. I get tons of feedback about this program all the time. The next thing I included here is another 6-hour recorded teleclass. It's not 6 hours total, it's 6 one-hour courses, so don't panic. You don't have to sit there for 6 hours. Called Deconditioning by Design. This is a $147 value, again, yours free bonus with level 1 training. This is a program that takes you through helps you understand your behavioral patterns that happen in the 9 energy centers. This is going to help you understand why you might feel stuck or blocked in your life. It's also going to help you understand your energy so that you can adopt new effective patterns. So you won't, you know, what you're going to really get is this deep insight into why have you done the things that you've done in the past? How did they lead you to this point? And how can you shift and change those patterns? And how can you recognize those patterns that are actually rooted in your energy blueprint and start living out patterns rather than sabotaging yourself or getting yourself stuck in where it's not working for you. Program, I married human design with my EFT, the emotional freedom. So I actually give you emotional freedom technique setups, and I teach you how to do it if you're not familiar with it, so that you can use meridian-based acupressure points to help release old beliefs and places where you might be stuck according to your unique blueprint. So I'm going to give you you're going to get specific EFT setups for to use that are just tailored to your personal chart. So you'll kind of see what's going on in your chart, and then you can find the EFT setups that work for you. The next program that I included in here is called the Abundance by Design program. This is, again, free bonus, $147 value, another 6-hour program that really shows you if you haven't been able to manifest, even if you're doing everything right, what you need to do so that you're not trying this one-size-fits-all approach to manifesting. It's going to help you discover your unique way of interfacing with the law of attraction and your, the universal laws of creation, so that you can use the process of deliberate creation in a way that's correct for you energetically. So this is one of my most popular programs. People love this program too, and you will walk away going, oh my God, I get it. I really get it. I'm not broken. There's nothing wrong with me. I just haven't been doing it correctly according to my type. And then last but not least, because everybody wants to know this one too, I stuck in another one of the Human Design Specialty Series programs called Soulmates by Design, which, as I said, abundance isn't always about money. It's also about love and relationships and being with the right people who truly value you and valuing the people you're with. So this is really about what makes a relationship work and how to understand the energy dynamics between you and your partner and how you can really make the most of that energetic dynamic. What you see a lot of times in this program, people always come away going, I get it. It's not personal. What he does that drives me crazy is just his energy. And now that I understand that, I'm not taking it personally anymore. It's really, human design is a really powerful tool to help people manifest unconditional love. And when you really get that what's happening between you and your partner is 90% just energy and it's not even personal stuff, you really start to let go of all the little things, and it allows you to really focus on the big things that really matter. This is, as I said, it's a 2-hour program, again, a $47 value for free when you purchase the Level 1 program. Now, I'm going to add a special bonus that's not listed on Shefali's page here, but we were talking about abundance, and I have a program called the Money by Design program. This is a 9-part video program that walks you through all the different places where you can be carrying energetic conditioning that might be influencing your money mindset and your capacity to generate the money that you want. With this 9-hour video program also comes this kick-butt Facebook group that I have, and it's a secret Facebook group, but when you buy the Money by Design program, you actually become a member. You can become a member of the secret Facebook group. We have like 500 people on this Facebook group. It's unbelievable, and they are constantly loving and supporting each other. So if you want a really great place to go talk about human design and money and how to make different decisions in the context of money and be supported by this awesome community, this is a really fabulous thing that's on here. And it's a mere $27 value, but I really think of all the programs that I have, this one is the one that's the most invaluable. I can't really put a monetary figure on this. I kept it intentionally low just because I wanted people to really have a place where they could talk about money and not get into trouble financially doing it. But, okay, so you've got all these programs plus the Money by Design program for free bonuses, along with the Human Design Level 1 training, all for just $97. So that $97 investment gives you more than $600 worth of bonuses. And again, I have to be honest. Of course, I'm a nut about human design, but I've watched people now go through these programs for the last 6 years since we've had it up. And this truly is, I think, one of the most life-changing programs on the market right now, because what it does is it's going to marry everything that you already know. You already know all about abundance. We've been, ever since the movie The Secret came out, there really isn't anything we don't know necessarily. But now you get to learn how unique you, special you who has your own energy configuration that's not like anybody else's on the planet, you get to discover your way to interface with that so that once and for all, you can use it and actually really make it work for you.
Wow, Karen, thank you. That's a lot of bonuses too with the actual training, So it's like that's fantastic, and it's like wow, it's because I look at this stuff and it's like, oh yeah, I could use some understanding about certain areas. It's like and it's all there, So it's like that's a lot of information, and just the abundance by design, the money by design. The soulmate by design, the deconditioning with the EFT setups. I think that's fantastic because I never know, how to do that exactly, right? So it's like there's just so much in there. Wow, I love it. And I have a comment from Pat. She just sent us a comment saying that she found her birth time on her birth certificate from the hospital, and she was born in the early 1950s. So perhaps, for others who were born in the early 1950s, it's there on the birth certificate as well. So thank you for that, Pat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't think we have that here. Like in Canada, yeah, it's different. We don't have birth time on our birth certificates here. Interesting. Yeah, so, and for those of you who followed along, great. It was activateyourabundance.com/Karen, and of course it's on the live webcast page, and the speaker special offer button is activateyourabundance.com/Karen. Wow. There's just so much, and you know, like every time I talk to you, I just think it's so cool that there's all this information, and you're right, we're not broken, we're not doing anything, you know, wrong per se. There's nothing wrong with us. We're just not understanding our type and how we should be functioning in the world. And once we know that, maybe it'll be less frustrating, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. And if you could just, you know, again, just know that one. You know, just that one little piece about who you are and how you operate. It's like the missing piece for those of you who've really been struggling with, you know, why isn't this working for me? What's my subconscious block? Maybe it's not that there is a subconscious block. Maybe you're not broken or stuck at all. Maybe it's just that you haven't been engaging in the world, and you know, having a relationship with the world that's correct for you energetically. And when you can add this one little piece, now I've done over 6,000 readings in the last 14 years. I have watched people's lives change dramatically. Just having that one little piece of knowledge and adding it to everything else that they have already done.
Absolutely. You know, and I think this will really help people to get clarity in their lives about how they're functioning and how they're not, you know, and how it's not working for them. And like for me, just when you said, you know, you have to be patient and, you know, just wait for the universe to tell you what to do and then follow the energy of that, which totally makes sense. And people have been telling me stuff, and it's like, I don't know, you know, there's a little bit of fear that comes up. It's like, I don't know if I can do that, but, you know, when, you know, more than one person tells you you should do something, you know, then maybe I should just listen, you know. and you know, sometimes when, you know, I get these wonderful ideas and I think, oh yeah, let's do this, and I do it, I put my all into it, and then you know, it doesn't work out exactly how I want. So it's like, okay, I get it now. You know, it's like, I get it. But it's hard to wait and wait for the universe to tell you something, you know, when you're not patient. But, you know, yeah.
Well, and truly, I don't think anybody is patient. As I said, there isn't actually patience in the chart. and part of it is just also our upbringing, and I think our cultural conditioning. So, you know, I think the thing is when you experiment with this, you know, don't take my word for it, go experiment with this. What you start to see is that the universe really is truly conspiring on your behalf. And the more you let go and wait, and if you're a waiting type, and the more you start to see that, oh my gosh, when I let go and wait, things show up, the more you start to trust it, and the easier it gets to wait.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you just nailed it there when you said the more you start to trust it. You know, I really do think it's all about the trust, you know, and that's an issue with me. So it's like I'm working on that one.
A lot of us have what I call a backup plan for God. Okay, God, I'm going to manifest this, but if it's not here by Thursday, here's what I'm going to do. You know, and you do learn with human design how to trust the universe a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So thank you. That was so enlightening and so helpful, and I love all the questions from the listeners, and because there's just so much out there. So you know, like I always say, if this resonates with you, you know, take a look at it. If you haven't got your chart yet, you know, go and get your chart. It may take a few days because they're really busy all the time, but you know, once you get it, you know, take a look at it, and then you know, see how you feel with it, because you know, I got mine, and every time Karen comes on, I always look at my chart to try and figure it out some more, you know. But it's just so fascinating that, you know, we can have this tool that really can help us to start changing our lives and creating what we really want, you know. So thank you for that, Karen. I mean, you explain it so well, so clearly and so well. I love it.
Also, I have a really quick little bonus here. I just noticed something, and my publisher put the book on sale last week for 99 cents on the Kindle. It's only an ebook version, But the book we have is also on sale for 99 cents. So if you want to go grab that, I don't know how long that's going to last. It was clicked on it and I went, it's still for sale for 99 cents. So go snag a copy real quick before they change the link. So
where's that?
It's a really fabulous deal. On Amazon, only on Amazon.
Okay. So it's the Kindle book on Amazon, which is on sale for 99 cents.
Correct. So it's Understanding Human Design. So get it while you can, because I expect that probably any minute now they're going to update the link because they were supposed to be done Sunday night. So
okay. Thank you.
They're dragging their butts. So to your advantage.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for telling us. I'm gonna get it for sure because I love to read. I mean, I cannot get enough reading material. You know, I just and I love this topic, this subject. You know, so it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get it because, you know, yeah, that'll be fun. 99 cents. It's nothing. So go and get it. Go to Amazon. Understanding Human Design. It's on sale for 99 cents. Get it quick. Wonderful. Thank you, Karen, so much. And thank you, everyone, for being on the call, for watching and listening and calling in and submitting questions. We really, really appreciate it. I'm off now to go pick up my daughter, as you all know. So continue to live a life filled with joy, peace, love, and abundance. And we will see you again soon. Have a great day, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Shefali. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.